Hey y'all, it's Michael and it's Vlogtember day 10, and today I'm here to talk about two more short story collections that I recently finished. The first short story collection is The Assassination of Margaret Thatcher by Hilary Mantel. I've never actually read anything by Hilary Mantel before. Her most famous works is Bringing Up the Bodies, I believe that's what it is. I think it also turned into a TV show, but this is my first experience reading her works, and overall, I thought the collection was okay. I gave it 2.5 on Goodreads. I think I rated it 2 stars. So let's talk about these. I think the thing about this, for me, anyways, and why I didn't enjoy the collection overall, is that a lot of the short stories was really obvious in the sense that a lot of them, it was obvious. Like, it is obvious. Well, I don't think it's a bad thing also, but there is this thing where it has this subtlety of what it is, but it's never stated like out front or in your face. Like, a lot of the short stories have themes of like vampires. It's obvious. Several stories actually have like vampires. And it's never fully stated that these are vampires. It's one of those things where it's really up to the reader, because for me, I just wanted, I was like, is that a vampire? Is it not? I also felt like a lot of her short stories like were building up to something, and then it just like there. It, yeah. And this is a thing that I have been noticing since I'm reading a lot of short story collections within the past few months, and I've been reading a short story every day. I see this common actually, and I don't know if it's me coming from just a full-on novel, me being as a reader coming from a full, like I constantly read full-on novels, and you know, a full-on novel has time and room for the story to keep growing and to keep expanding. But then when it reaches that point where like it reaches the crescendo, it has time to fall down. And a lot of the short stories, not even just this collection by Mantel in general, I have been noticing that a lot of the short stories would have the crescendo and then it would just stop. That's it. Like there's no room or growth for it to fall back down. So let's talk about some of the short stories. There is one that I did enjoy called Coma. This one I thought was pretty okay. This is about a little girl who goes to the neighbor's house essentially and sees something. So there's that. A lot of the short stories also with Mantel, I noticed that I didn't give any of them a star, and usually I give a star when I'm taking notes of the stories that I really do enjoy, and I noticed that I didn't give any of her stories personally for me a star, which there is that. Now there is one that I was like, oh okay, like it's called Winter Break. This is about a husband and wife driving, and we found out something that's in the car, and I was like, oh okay, that's okay, that's it. Now I do want to talk about one short story on here. It's called How Shall I Know You. This was really interesting, probably because it was low-key shady. That's probably why I did enjoy it a little bit. This is, it seems semi-autobiographical. I don't know, I'm just saying. This is about an author who goes to this literary this meeting with a whole bunch of literary authors and like literary agents and whatnot. And there she talks, it gets a little bit shady, so it's like, who is she talking about? It's really interesting. Out of all of the short stories, I would recommend that just for the shadiness. Yeah, The Assassination of Margaret Thatcher. It's actually called, in the short story, it's called The Assassination of Margaret Thatcher, August 6, 1983. This was actually not that bad. This short story in particular really does hone down on a lot of the themes going on through Mantel's collection, more about like what is being seen, what is being not seen, what is being said, what is being not said. Because this short story, The Assassination of Margaret Thatcher, is about someone who is not what they say they are. So, yeah. I did enjoy that there is this, like, I guess, theme about all of these short stories that is connecting them all together. But I just never felt this wowness, this moment of like like love that I usually feel with short stories in any one of our short stories. So I just gave it 2.5 out of 5. The next one, oh, this was a long short story, and that's Blind Willow Sleeping Woman by Haruki Murakami, translated from the Japanese by Philip Gabriel and Jay Rubin. Philip Gabriel and Jay Rubin has been Murakami's translator for a really long time. It's either one of them or somebody else, but it's these two are mainly the translators for Murakami's work. This includes 24 short stories. Good God, it's a lot, and they vary. Oh, Murakami. Um, I don't know what the relationship would be called. It's not a love-hate relationship with Murakami. It's like love, but I see the fault in your writing relationship. Because I really do enjoy Murakami's ability as a writer. Take me out of just the norm and always brings me in this world of just magical and not of this world, like worldly. I really do enjoy Murakami for his writing and his ability for to me anyways and to bring me into that world. I do also have to note with this short story collection, if you are not aware if you're not aware of Murakami or a lot of Japanese culture references, a lot of the short stories I'm gonna let you know now will go over your head. Like it will literally just be like, what is he talking about? Because these short stories are very Japanese. Like a lot of them are very Japanese, but they do have a universal feeling of not. You don't have to be. They do have a lot of universal feeling of like not of this world, which is a very very common Murakami theme that he talks a lot about in a lot of his stories, because this is the thing with Murakami short stories, and I have noticed this with Murakami's work in general, is that Murakami's, like, while a lot of people admire his short stories because that's how he starts off, a lot of his full-on length novels are actually they start off as short stories, and I can tell you right now, one of these short stories become a full-on novel. I'm not going to tell you which one because then it might spoil it, but it does become a full-on novel. Like I was like, I remember this part in this longer novel that I have read of Murakami. And so while some people really do enjoy his short story collections, I personally myself enjoy his longer works just because in his longer works he has time. He has time, like in 1Q84 and the Wind Up Bird Chronicle, he has time to just linger. And while some readers might not enjoy that word, like it's just lingering on, I quite enjoy it. I think that's one of the things that I do enjoy about his works, is that he does tend to linger, and within the short stories, I'm not gonna lie, he does talk about the same things. The same things, like he does talk about spaghetti, jazz, a male main character in his 20s that has misogynistic actions and thinks about misogynistic things, but at the same time, for some odd reason, he seems to finesse women that seems to be a little bit older, and then for some odd reason, there's always a little girl with a pixie haircut that seems to have big eyes and seems to be really innocent. So a lot of these things are just like the same thing over and over again, but and speaking of spaghetti, I'm gonna let you know now, there is a short story in here that I love. I put 2 stars on here and I love it with a passion. There's this one called The Year of Spaghetti. Now y'all know I love spaghetti. Whenever my mom cooks her spaghetti, it is an event. I love spaghetti to the core of my being. I love spaghetti, love it. That's probably why I love Murakami's book, because they always have spaghetti. And I'm glad that this short story collection has a story literally all about spaghetti. It's just about spaghetti. It's about this man, how spaghetti, it's basically like an illusion of how spaghetti represents him in his lonely state of mind, which was really interesting because for me anyways, like I told you previously, I've always seen spaghetti as a family time for me. It's a time when my family comes to my house and we eat, we watch anime, we converse about our life. And so it was really like, I love that. I love how this thing with food means something differently for each people. I really love this short story. There are some short stories in here that like I really did enjoy, like Birthday Girl. I won't talk about that much because it will spoil something. So I really did like that. There was one short story in here that I like. It really, I didn't get it. Was A Perfect Day for Kangaroos. This was so bizarre even for me, and I did not understand it at all. I don't know if kangaroos significant like has some sort of significance to the Japanese culture that I am missing, but it was bizarre. Like it was incredibly weird. I don't know about that. There's also this really good one called Traveler. This is Murakami as a narrator himself about a friend of his. I really liked it. Oh, there's this one called Hanali Bay that I starred on here that I really did like, and this one is about a woman who takes a trip to Hawaii because of her son. Yeah, I really like that. It's really melancholy, but has this ending that I was like, oh, like it was like growth. I really liked it. This one I really liked. I didn't quite exactly get it in the sense like get it because I think it says something again, like I said, with Japanese culture that I don't understand. It's where I'm likely to find it. This is about an investigator um, finding something, and he ends up at the stairwell, and it gets really weird. I don't know exactly its significant, like it has a significance of, but I liked it because this build up to it was really done well, and I like the way it concludes. I liked it, so I really like that. It's more like a 2.5. I gave it 2 stars on Goodreads. Is that this collection is long. It's 24 short stories. And the thing with these short story collections is that you kind of also do have to look at it overall. Like I can accept a few like missteps when I'm reading a collection of short stories, but there were more stories than great ones. And it is also one of those things where okay, I see what you did with this, I get it, but you also did this previously in your other stories. And while that's that's one of the things that I always have a fight over with myself as a reader when I'm reading Murakami stories, is that at one end the repetitiveness is comforting in the sense that I already know, I always know what I'm gonna get with Murakami. Like I always know it. But then there's also this other side of me that do want something new. So I'm always finding myself with that. It's just a personal thing for me. But it is what it is. So there's that. If you read any of these two short stories collections, let me know what you think about it. Until then, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.